When was the last time someone truly asked, "How are you?" and actually meant it? If you had to think for more than 3 seconds, this video was made for you. Loneliness is not just a feeling. It is a physical condition, and science now proves years of loneliness can destroy your body just as surely as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Right now, over 1 in 3 adults worldwide report feeling lonely. In the United States alone, 61% of adults say they feel seriously lonely, and the number has been rising every single year since 2000. In the first year of chronic loneliness, your brain triggers a permanent stress response. Your cortisol levels spike. Your body enters fight or flight mode, not for minutes, but for months on end. With cortisol constantly elevated, your immune system begins to break down. You get sick more often. Wounds heal slower. Inflammation spreads through your body silently, like a fire with no smoke. Studies from Harvard University show lonely people have a 29% higher risk of heart disease and a 32% higher risk of stroke. Loneliness doesn't just break your heart emotionally. It breaks it physically. Lonely people experience what scientists call micro-awakenings. Their brain stays in threat detection mode all night. You sleep, but your brain never rests. You wake up exhausted. Every single day. This one shocked even the researchers. MRI studies show that chronic loneliness causes measurable shrinkage in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, empathy, and rational thought. Here's something extraordinary. Research shows that lonely people literally feel more physical pain than connected people. The same injury, the same wound, but the lonely person feels it twice as intensely. Connection is nature's painkiller. Scientists measure biological age through something called telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA. Chronic loneliness accelerates telomere shortening, meaning lonely people age faster. At a cellular level, their body is older than their years. Loneliness raises blood pressure as significantly as being overweight or physically inactive. Your arteries constrict. Your heart works harder. And most people never know until it's too late. Now let's talk about the mind. Because loneliness doesn't just change your body, it rewires the way you think. It makes your brain see the world differently, and not in a good way. When you're chronically lonely, your brain enters a state called hypervigilance. You begin scanning every room for danger. Every look becomes a threat. Every silence feels like rejection. Your brain is trying to protect you, but it's actually making everything worse. Lonely brains develop what psychologists call rejection sensitivity. You begin assuming people don't like you before they even say a word. You pull away first to avoid being left. And in doing so, you create the very loneliness you feared. After years of loneliness, depression is not a risk. It becomes almost inevitable. Researchers found that lonely individuals are 64% more likely to develop clinical anxiety. And the two conditions feed each other in an endless loop. After years of being alone, the brain begins to view connection itself as a threat. Trust becomes almost impossible. Kindness feels suspicious. Vulnerability feels dangerous. The very thing you need most becomes the thing you fear most. Pause here for a second, because this next fact changes everything. A landmark analysis of 70 studies covering 3.4 million people found that social isolation increases your risk of early death by 26%. That is more deadly than obesity. In 2018, the United Kingdom became the first country in the world to appoint a minister for loneliness. Doctors in the UK can now officially prescribe social activities as medical treatment. The world is finally waking up. But are you? Here's the cruel irony of our time. The more hours people spend on social media, the lonelier they feel. One study found that people who use social media more than 2 hours a day were twice as likely to feel socially isolated. Researchers at the University of Chicago discovered something remarkable. Loneliness spreads between people like a contagion. If your close friend is lonely, your own risk of becoming lonely increases by 52%. It moves through social networks like a virus. The most painful loneliness isn't being alone in a room. It's being surrounded by people and still feeling completely invisible. It's being in a relationship and feeling utterly unknown. It's having 100 contacts and no one to call. Lonely people rarely say, "I am lonely." Instead, they say, "I'm just tired. I'm busy. I'm fine." They have become so used to being alone with their pain that they've stopped believing anyone would understand. Two groups suffer most and are heard least. Children who grow up isolated develop lasting emotional scars that shape their entire adult life. And the elderly. Millions of older adults go days, sometimes weeks, without a single human conversation. Here is something extraordinary. Neuroscientists at MIT discovered that when a lonely person sees images of other people socializing, the same region of their brain activates as when a starving person sees food. Your brain craves connection the same way it craves survival. Your body has a nerve called the vagus nerve, sometimes called the wandering nerve, that runs from your brain all the way to your gut. When you feel connected to others, it activates healing. When you're lonely, it stays dormant, and your organs suffer the silence. Here is why loneliness is so difficult to escape. The more lonely you become, the more your brain changes. And the more your brain changes, the harder it becomes to connect. It is a loop, a self-reinforcing prison, built one day at a time. But here is what nobody tells you, and the reason I made this video. The human brain, even after years of loneliness, retains the ability to reconnect. The damage is real, but so is the healing. Your brain has a quality called neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire itself at any age. Studies show that even people who have been severely isolated for years can rebuild neural pathways for connection within weeks of meaningful social interaction. So what can you actually do? Starting today. Step 1. The 5-minute connection. Research shows that even brief, genuine interactions, a conversation with a stranger, a real phone call, a shared meal, activate the same healing response in your brain as deep friendship. Step 2. Move your body with other people. Group exercise, team sports, even a walking club reduces loneliness faster than solo exercise. Your body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, when you move in sync with others. Step 3. Give to someone else. Volunteering for even 2 hours a week cuts loneliness in half according to multiple studies. When you focus on someone else's needs, your brain shifts out of self-protective mode, and suddenly, connection feels safe again. Step 4, and this one will cost you nothing. Put your phone down for 30 minutes a day and be physically present in a space with other people. A library, a park, a coffee shop. You don't need to speak. Just being near others begins healing your nervous system. Step 5, if your loneliness has lasted years, please consider speaking to a therapist or counselor. Cognitive behavioral therapy has shown remarkable results in reversing the thought patterns that loneliness creates. You do not have to navigate this alone. I want to speak directly to anyone watching this alone right now. You are not broken. You are not unlovable. You are not too damaged to connect. You are a human being, and connection is your birthright, not a reward you have to earn. And here is the final truth. Your connection doesn't just heal you. It heals the people around you. Remember, loneliness is contagious. But so is warmth. So is kindness. So is the decision to reach out to one person today. If you know someone who is going through a lonely season of life, please share this video with them. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer someone is simply, "I was thinking about you." This could be that message. Loneliness is not a life sentence. It is a signal that something deeply human in you is still alive, still reaching, still hoping for connection. Honor that signal. Act on it today. If this video opened your eyes, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Healthy Facts for more content that genuinely matters. And I will see you in the next one.